Hello viewer, this is Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Stay with us as we bring you news reports in the power sector. I am Chinwenwa Anyang. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says it is investing about $170 million to construct 5 new transmission substations and a 330 kV line in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
The Managing Director, CEO, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, who disclosed this at an interactive forum for retired NEPA, PSCN, TCN staff in Abuja recently, said the investment is being financed by the French Development Agency, AFD, as part of the company's innovative transmission rehabilitation and expansion program, TREP.
Currently, Abuja have 5 132 kV substations. This project will put 3 additional 132 kV substations, and the locations are at Lokogoma, at Gwarimpa, and then at Kuje. Then this Abuja currently have 2 number 330 kV substations. The one that was built by NIPP in Gwagwalada, and the one that has been existing, that is Katampe. Now this project is going to put 2 additional 330 kV substations in Abuja. One at New Apple, very close to the Apple village where the Apple business is. The second one is at Lube, around Lube, 330 kV substation. And this project is also bringing a new supply route, 330 kV supply route to Abuja through Latvia.
Mr. Mohammed also said multilateral donors have appraised TCN due to its ongoing reforms that have changed the operations and procurement process, as TCN has been reassured of more funding for its TREP.
Have attracted significant amount of investment from the donors. And I can also tell you that things have changed. We are not doing things the way it is. We did the appraisal of the Northern Corridor project, which I'm going to come on here. And the donors told us that, if you want more money, we're ready to give you. So it's now between us and Ministry of Finance. They're even ready to give us more than what we requested. And why? Because they have seen that what we have done in the last 1 year, they have seen some level of transparency that they didn't expect it to be here.
The TCN head, who made a presentation on the achievement of the company and its medium and long-term plans, therefore called for a regulation by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, to protect its transformers in the event of any damage caused by faults from the DISCO's networks. Chairman of the occasion and a former managing director of the defunct National Electric Power Authority, NEPA, Engineer Hamza Ibrahim, said the past management of NEPA laid the foundation of the power sector with limited funding.
1990 or 89 to 1997, 1998, the whole funding, budgetary allocation was a mere $107 million. All those 7-8 years, $107 million equivalent, because we have to go through the years and calculate the prevailing exchange rates over the years to be able to arrive at that figure. So that's why the World Bank at one time said NEPA engineers were really magicians, because they could not understand how we are able to operate such systems.
Engineer Ibrahim thanked TCN for giving the opportunity for the retired key officials of the firms to reunite, saying,
the Managing Director, Mr. Usman Gur Mohammed, and management of TCN deserve our appreciation for organizing this maiden get-together. When we listen to what TCN has to say on challenges and their programs, then that will pave the way for our discussions today. We will, however, not restrict ourselves to TCN, but the entire power sector.
NEC Chairman Professor James Momo lauded TCN for boosting transmission capacity in the country. He, however, challenged experts to work on promoting these developments to boost industrialization.
We need to now begin to promote businesses so that this available transmission line that is fully energized both in the north and south of Nigeria, in the west and the east, we should begin to ask, yes, what do we do to bring businesses? We need to begin to ask for industrialization of this country. I'm really suggesting that should be a takeaway tonight.
In an innovative approach to problem solving, the Managing Director, CEO of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has said using in-house engineers has saved the company about 90% on the cost of installing various transmission transformers that were abandoned by contractors.
Mr. Mohammed made this disclosure at the TCN corporate headquarters in Abuja recently when he received two past presidents of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, Mr. Emmanuel Ijewere, and Otumba Lateef Owoyeni, and a council member, Mrs. Ngozi Okonkwo, who paid a courtesy call on the MD, CEO, a fellow accomplished accountant, and the managing team of TCN. The MD, CEO, in his presentation on the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, TREP, of TCN, said the company started the innovation with a transformer at the Damboa substation in Borno State, where the project was abandoned by the contractor. Further explaining how he initiated the ingenious installation of transformers by the TCN engineers, he said,
all over the country, we installed several transformers because of that. And each of these transformers, we are installing them at some time less than 10% of what we used to pay former contractors.
He also said the engineers are also building a substation in Ilashe area of Lagos, which was estimated for 1 billion naira by the prospecting contractor. He said the in-house engineers have spent below 100 million naira and work is about 95% completed.
As at December, the transmission capacity that was simulated was 7,124. Remember, when we took over, it was only 5,000. We have added about 2,000 megawatts. And I can also tell you that since that time, there's no 2 weeks that we have not commissioned a new transformer. In the last 1.5 years, we have commissioned more transformers, more than what was done in the previous 10 years in the system.
The head Independent System Operation, ISO, Engineer Maman Lawal, at the meeting also enlightened the visiting team of ICAN on the effects of system frequency instability on the electricity grid and the significance of having spinning reserve to stabilize the grid. He said,
when the load goes higher, you also beef up the generation so that near nominal frequency will be attained.
Yes.
So that is the spinning reserve. You are able to call it up automatically.
One of the former ICAN president, Mr. Emmanuel Ijewere, in his address said he was a member of the National Council on Privatization, NCP, who played key roles in the privatization of the generation companies, GENCOs, and distribution companies, DISCOs, in 2013. He, however, said,
the only one we did not touch was transmission. But even then, we had a lot of reports coming in and presented to us on the transmission. So that's the side I've got missing. I was involved in GENCO, I was involved in DISCO. But the in-between, the bridge, this is my first time of actually meeting that there are real human beings in it. I feel highly honored to be here.
On his part, ICAN former president Otumba Lateef Owoyeni lauded the achievements of TCN and urged them to devise more means of letting the public know of these achievements.
Let's take a break for a short message. Please stay tuned.
Verify that land before you buy it. To drastically reduce the incidence of building under the transmission right-of-way or encroaching on designated TCN land, members of the public are hereby requested to verify land near or along transmission line route before purchasing it. Verification should be made in the Land Development Authority or at the TCN office. This would help in drastically reducing the incidence of building under transmission line right-of-way and save us all the problem of pulling down the structure or truncating transmission line expansion projects in your community due to court injunction. Help us serve you better. Verify that land before you buy it.
Next on the program is an exclusive interview session with the General Manager, Lagos Region of TCN, Engineer Geoffrey Nwokoye, about the activities of the region in expanding the transmission grid and delivery bulk electricity to Nigerians. What is your place and role at the Transmission Company of Nigeria?
The Lagos region comprises of 5 sub-regions located at one at Akomba, that is Lera. We have one at Aja. We have one at Ikeja West, that is Ayobo area. And we have one at Eben, that is Ikorodu. And the last but not the least is the one located at Papalanto, that is Ogun State. So actually it covers both Lagos State and Ogun State. And these are the major areas of power supply, the major areas that Lagos region supply power to. And beyond that, it serves Benin Republic through one 330 kV line from Ikeja West. Yeah. So apart from Lagos and Ogun, it still serves outside this country.
There are a lot of ongoing transmission projects in this region. Can you shed light on their status?
The power need of Lagos, Ogun, and even the one that is exported out of this country is quite substantial. By rating the power need of Lagos and Ogun is up to about 30% of the total power need of the country. We have a program of rehabilitation and expansion of our transmission network. Like I told you, we have 5 sub-regions under Lagos region. So for us to be able to supply this power to the people that need it, to the industries that need it, we have a lot of programs. And those programs range from aggressive maintenance of what we have already. We have to maintain. I so much believe, and our company so much believe that maintenance is key. So we have this in mind, and that is what makes us to actually, first of all, make sure that we maintain what we have already. We maintain our lines, we maintain our transformers, our transmission infrastructures, and then we have a program of rehabilitation also. As an equipment is serving, of course, it continues to get old. But when you look at it, you can include rehabilitation in your program. That is what you are doing. We include the rehabilitation of our transmission lines, rehabilitation of our transformers. One way we rehabilitate our transformer is by passing them through regeneration process, you see, to make sure that the quality of the oil inside the transformer is what it's supposed to be. And by doing that, we are prolonging the life of the transformer. We have carried out one at Alabo just recently. We regenerated a 60-MVA transformer there, and it's serving very, very well now. We have done it in some other transformers in our network. We have that program for older transformers in network to enhance their lifespan. Then also, what we have been doing in the area of rehabilitation, we have, if you look at Lagos area, you'll find out that one of the major challenges is this corrosion, because the water is salty, you see. So most often it attacks our steel tower members and our insulators. So, and if care is not taken, those insulators will begin to detach. Some of our transmission lines pass through the water lagoon, and you can imagine a situation where nothing is done and that conductor, that insulator detaches and the conductor falls into the water. You see, it will take a lot of efforts to bring it up back, and people will be out of supply for the period. So we have looked at that. We have actually done aggressive rehabilitation on that line. The line from Ajah to Eben. It passed mostly through the lagoon, and we have been able to remove all the corroded insulators and replace them with good ones. We have done it on a line from Alabo to Akoka also. And we are looking at other lines in town to continue to do that. It's part of our rehabilitation to make sure that those things are in place. Then we have other rehabilitation programs. We have some substations, GIS substations, gas insulated stations. We have them at Ajah, we have them at Alabo. Alabo is relatively new, so it doesn't need rehabilitation. We have them at Apapa Road, we have it at Amu, we have it at Itira, we have it at Akoka. All these things have been penciled down for rehabilitation.
What other projects has TCN executed?
From September last year to now, we have been able to add not less than 655 MVA transformer capacity into the system in Lagos and Ogun. I told you that Lagos region covers up to Ogun. And these ones were done, in addition to the one done at Ejibo. We replaced 30 MVA transformer at Alimosho with 100. Then at Odogunyo is a greenfield project. It's an entirely new project where 2x60 MVA transformers were commissioned into service just a few months ago. Then at Odabukuta, we replaced 2x30 MVA transformers there with 60 MVA transformer, 2 numbers. At Papalanto, we replaced a 50 MVA transformer with 60 MVA transformer. At Ajah, we installed a 60 MVA transformer there. At New Abeokuta, we have completed 2x60 MVA transformer. The Honorable Minister of Power and the MD, they will soon come to commission it. They haven't concluded. We have a rehabilitation project also going on along that Ikorodu Shagamu as is now. The existing line is on this tubular pole. So, but there's a program replacing all those tubular poles with steel, lattice towers, and it has gone to substantial. In fact, by the end of this year, as agreed with the contractor, that job will be completed. One of the things that delayed some of those jobs was because of our material that were stocked at the wharf. Sometimes, but by the force of the present management, most of those containers are out. About more than 600 number containers are out and have been helping to speed up the projects. And some of the things that were the contractors that could not deliver the projects on time, the current management have been using in-house engineers to get those projects, most of them done and delivered and commissioned, and they are serving the people now. So that is it. And I want to also point out one thing that the ministry with TCN is doing. They are planning to close up the Lagos loop.
What does this closing of loop mean?
When I mean closing of the loop, I mentioned creating redundancies. in the area of transformer capacity. If one transformer is out for one reason or the other, the people will not feel it because the other transformer will take up the load. Then, when you talk about redundancy in terms of transmission line, if you come to a station and if that station is in a loop, what it means that if this part of the transmission line coming into that station is off, supply will still come from the other side. But if it's not a loop, it's a radial line. If that line is off, there will be no station there. So what I mean by closing, people will not get supply. When we talk of closing the 330 kV loop, because now the 132 is closed up in Lagos. That's why if we lose supply in this Ijora, for instance, that is fed from Akomba and also fed from through Oworo, through Akuka to this place, and even through Alabo to this place. If the line from Ijora, Akomba to this place is off, we still get supply from it because it's a loop. We still have supply. But the only 330 kV line that feeds Lagos Island now is the line from Ewin to Aja through the lagoon. So anytime that line is off, that Lagos Island area, Lekki and Aja will be out of supply. So what the management want to do is to construct a line from Alabo, because from Alabo, 330 kV line is connected to Lekki to Alabo, inside Alabo. We now want to connect Alabo through here, through Ijora, because we have the plan of constructing 330 kV substation at this Ijora. We now connect through Alabo through Ijora to Akomba. So from Akomba is connected to Kejawe, is connected to the entire grid. So if there is problem with the line from Ewin to Aja, we still get supply through this group. So it's one of the projects that is being considered under the TAP, you see. And there is this project I want to also mention, the construction of 330 kV double circuit line from Omotosho to Epe, from Epe to Aja. It's under construction now. It's been awarded. The idea is that, there is this government program of what they call free trade zone around the Epe site. You know already that there is plan to construct a port there and seaport. That means creating another Lagos altogether. And of course, there will be serious population expansion in that area. View of people, industries, and we're envisaging that the power need of that place need to be augmented. So already transmission is doing something. They want to construct a substation at Epe and then link it to Omotosho. Is ongoing now.
It's time for feedback segments. These are the comments we got from our audience on our social media platforms. Adewale Shokumbi wrote on Transmission Company of Nigeria's link on Facebook saying, "Job well done. Your management is surely doing well." On the move to ensure speedy delivery of projects by taking over some contracts, Wale Adeoye Oluneye says, "This is quite a good move." Seidu Zakari says, "It's a good idea at the right time." Comments on our Twitter handle in response to the installation of brand new 60 MVA 132 by 33 kV transformer along with earthing transformer at Damaturu 330 by 132 by 33 kV transmission station that was energized to increase the wheeling capacity. Shayo Olu at Shayo Olu says, "More needed, please." Mustafa Shuaibo at TTL4Z says, "That's great news. Keep the good work." Thank you for your feedback. We have taken note of them and will do more to serve you better. This is where we draw the curtain. Join us on Power Wheel, same time, same station, next week. You can watch our episodes via our YouTube channel and as well reach us through the platforms showing on your screen. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. Bye for now.